Hi, my name is Mikayla Cali, and today I'm going to analyse the Health Fund of Australia's Health Cover for Humans campaign. So let's get into it. It can be argued that HIF implemented a cognitive type positioning strategy. Essentially, the big idea of the message is to convince central root thinkers and safety-concerned families that HIF provides ample affordable choice in its range of covers to suit the individual. In theory, the campaign was identifying with the safety aspect of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where the consumer is more intrinsically conditioned to satisfy the protection of one's health above others such as belongingness or self-esteem. This is integrated with Zymil's value expression that dictates that consumers utilize the value is what I get for what I give segment. HIF sought to appeal to the domestic juggler's helix persona, who carefully invest only into products or services that provide great value and benefit for their families. Furthermore, 64% of dog owners in Australia are aged between 30 to 49 years and are earning a middle to higher income, matching with the target audience. This is a successful approach as advertising theory identifies that companion animals such as dogs are often identified as extensions of the consumer, and thus are powerful tools of message encoding. However, HIF's message strategy could have benefited from using a more effective frame of message. While the strategy itself was convincing and the dogs were a great tool for gaining the attention of its target audience, the message itself was quite weak. Criticism for this type of strategy establishes brands that exert too much time to demonstrating value miss key opportunities to challenge consumer behaviours and encourage desired change. In addition, to measure the success of the campaign, HIF can evaluate using a mix of organic search results for the brand, the demographics of these searches and percentage in both growth of sales and awareness. Furthermore, brand recall, attitudes toward the brand, and purchase intention are also key indicators of effectiveness of the campaign. HIF uses an emotional appeal in its campaign to drive brand loyalty and to create trust between the firm and the consumer. The overall tone of the campaign is upbeat and uplifting due to the imagery-based execution technique being used. The music is light-hearted and fun so that the consumer does not feel too overwhelmed, and the campaign utilizes rich, bright colors to stimulate the consumer's senses and increase engagement. Close-up shots of the dogs are used to further enhance the imagery execution by focusing on the faces and emotions being expressed. This is where the advantages end, however. The disadvantages of HIF's creative strategy are, according to the ELM, central and high-risk purchase decisions such as insurance use very little emotional appeal during the processing of messages. Consequently, a rational consumer may choose to block the message as noise, and thus the appeal does not connect with the target audience. Furthermore, using personification to enhance the message of the advertisement is effective with peripheral or low-involvement processes rather than high-involvement purchases. The target audience is concerned with the facts and why the brand is right for them rather than appealing to them with continuous close-up shots and humanized dogs. Heuristics are simply not part of high-risk purchase decisions for this target market. Therefore, in terms of creative strategy, it is recommended that HIF follow in the footsteps of advertisements that give dogs a sense of purpose and is not too overbearing with its message. Globe's Create New Traditions campaign is an example of what HIF could have done to make its creative strategy more productive to its dog-loving audience. HIF mainly employed specific media channels to reach its target audience, rather than traditional ones. The media strategy uses far more bias towards a younger demographic who is not yet concerned with the benefits of health insurance and thus is quite ineffective. This includes the heavy use of social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and Instagram, with no known traditional media choices outside of television. Facebook is the most used social media site and therefore is highly advantageous for HIF to include in its campaign. On the other hand, YouTube is the most effective and efficient way of engaging its audience, as there is no clutter to distract the message such as Facebook's group chats. However, it is not nearly as commonly used by the target audience as younger generations, and thus it critically fails to enhance the message as a media channel. Instead of focusing so heavily on the online presence of the campaign, HIF could have implemented offline strategies such as a billboard, magazine and radio advertisement. The target market is far more likely to see a message through a billboard travelling to work or the local shops than on Instagram, Twitter or even YouTube, as 74% of Australians see billboards every week. Since this audience runs a tight schedule, there is no time for continuous browsing online. In conjunction, radio advertisements are the most popular medium for the target audience. Magazines are also another great media strategy for exposing the target market to the campaign, as readers generally do not engage with other sources of media while consuming. Engaging the audience with this medium allows the brand to understand its consumers on a more personal level. The firm can essentially allow consumers to influence the campaign and become part of the value creation.